Right, so I've come over to Industry 13, which is in Barrow-in-Furness in Cumbria. We've got Greg, James, Mike, who all co-own it, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is it just you three, or is there
General managers here as well.
too shy to get in on it? Go on, show your face. So I just wanted to kind of, come up here and see how these boys are getting on. They opened this gym earlier on in the year, at the beginning of this year. I know Mike and Greg from back in the day, Best of British training camps. So you kind of reached out to me, didn't you, about the class programming, so they kind of follow our GST train class program. But how did you kind of get round to owning a gym, like thinking you want to open a gym, like, yeah?
2015 it was, I think, and we've just been maybe introduced, I think, to CrossFit. CrossFit was probably coming into people's training sort of scope. People had seen it, I think, on YouTube and stuff. And at the time we were a typical corporation, global gyms, DW at the time, and a few of us were trying it out there, obviously struggling. You've got like hexagonal plates and jumping over people doing dumbbell curls and squat racks and stuff like that. So it was something we'd all been like quite passionate about, a few of us, and trying to do it. And then I think it was just after a couple of months we talked to a few people about getting involved in it, looked for a few places in the area, and found this little
essentially a big garage gym.
Yeah, it was a big garage.
So, there's a few of us, not just like core members, that just want to train and do a bit of CrossFit, step outside of the kind of general global gym world. I think most of them are just on JST programming from that, and I think that's kind of where it evolved. We jumped around a little bit around JST, and then that's kind of where it evolved from.
So just kind of piecing all this together, obviously we had the Best of British training camps. At what point was, the gym kind of coming into it? Was that like, were you guys kind of still at the Globo gym at that point? Or was it the case where you kind of already opened your gym?
Yeah, I think we were open for a year, maybe a year to 18 months, something like that. We'd had a core following of 20 people or something at that time.
Were you in at this point as well, Jim?
I'm trying to think, when was that photo you sent me when we got them bison plates?
That was pretty late on, that was maybe a year before we moved in,
Yeah, so I probably started a year or two before we moved,
Yeah. So were you at the gym as well, or what were you doing in the earlier days?
In the early days, I was just in DW
Right.
like 5 sets of 5 squats and stuff like that, all the usual stuff. And then I remember Rob, who's one of the core members, said to me, "You need to come down." He was pestering me in work. I used to sit next to him, and then when I went down, it's like everybody start and you just get hooked, and that was it then.
So I think it was maybe a year in, something like that we'd seen obviously what you used to do down at JC and thought, we're going to have a go at that. Probably the worst idea. That was like a big exposure.
I don't think we ordered an assault bike, and we got there and we did 2 lots of 10-minute max RPM on that.
I was ready to jump out of it. Like 2 minutes in, I was like, oh, ready to die.
10 minutes, we're like, right, 5 minutes rest, and we're going again.
So we did 90-second sprints at the end.
It was good, but that was an eye-opener. I think that was it.
Oh, yeah.
So just picking up on that a little bit, like, why is it you kind of guys wanted to come on those camps? Because obviously, like, there's a bit of a step from, I've seen on YouTube, you start watching it, you kind of open your own gym, you're carrying on doing bits, you want to look good still. Like, obviously, I'm guessing you came because you wanted to, get better at CrossFit. But were you competitive, or what was the practice?
It was just like, for me, like, it was a bit more exposure and obviously learning. We were trying to learn as much as we could at the time. We'd been on the level CrossFit course, we'd done the weightlifting courses, and we just wanted to be exposed to more rounded athletes again.
I think it was from kind of a personal point of view as well, so like learning CrossFit, getting more competitive that way, but also learning some more coaching skills, because we were coaches but we hadn't had, apart from like the CrossFit, we hadn't been to many other gyms, learned different styles, picked up on things like that. So I think it was from a personal and a business perspective. Yeah, I can kind of tell.
Because on that note, so I know for me as an athlete, like in and around that time, it was I've had this conversation, similar conversation where I was obviously picking up some stuff from like Steve and John, as well as we were getting like Cam Nickel and Nathan Berg who does the gymnastics stuff, and it's like, right, being coached this, and then I'm having to put into classes and coach it as well, so you kind of learn it kind of two ways, because you kind of learn it from someone else and you're like trying to pick it up yourself, and then you've got to try and implement it in classes, which I think is quite, it's at the point now where probably a lot less people are doing that. I feel like, I don't know about what you guys think, but I feel like people are kind of doing less courses and training camps maybe.
Learning from experience.
Yeah.
Because everyone's different, are they? And everyone learns differently. And going through experience, like we've done it for quite a few years now, haven't we? Where you learn how people learn.
Yeah.
And you come through those scenarios more and more often, and you adapt to those scenarios. So I think learning from experience has taught us a lot more than going to courses and jumping through those hoops.
Because my big thing, like, I'd say I'm a copycat.
Yeah,
So whatever I've learned, like, so when I was at uni, like, I learned off a weightlifter, you know, I copied his style, and then I watched hot videos, and then I copied his style and kind of merged the two together. And it's like, right, from Cam Nickel I learned this, like, I'm going to copy what he taught me, and then apply that. I feel like as long as you're confident in who is, you know, teaching it you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think that you can tailor it, can't you? Yourself.
That's one of the things, like we've said, like Paddy's joined us, like S&T background.
Right, okay.
And then Hannah's joined us as one of the coaches. Who've not been exposed to as much CrossFit. And that's one of the things we've tried to say there, like you've got access through like Instagram, YouTube, things like that to loads of awesome coaches. Like learn off that and be confident in what you deliver, and that's what you should do.
So kind of going back to what we were saying before about the gym and stuff, like why did you guys kind of initially, you know, start a gym?
This one? Or
Let's go back before that.
Right back. It was just we enjoyed that type of training, didn't we? And we wanted to move away from the typical back and buys, that kind of stuff, and to train in a social environment as well, in groups. Have a bit of friendly competition between people. We were doing similar workouts, like, oh, what score did you get, what weight did you lift, and that kind of stuff. And it makes it more enjoyable. You know, you want to come to the gym, and that's shown from the start of this place. I mean, really, that social element of training makes you improve so much more.
When was your Instagram post when you put a picture? I don't know what gym it was, and you like imagine it's barrel at the facility like this.
Well, that was 2015. I'd just Googled strength and conditioning gym and looked at a few images, and I think it was early 2015 I'd posted on my Instagram saying Barrow is desperate for this kind of training. It was at that time massively bodybuilding. There was a huge bodybuilding sphere in the area, wasn't there? There still is, yeah. But at that time there was loads of bodybuilding gyms, and that was really it. You had like health centres like Nuffield, you know, typical gyms like that. But there was nothing dedicated to social training, strength and conditioning, that methodology. I don't know, you just have a bit of a crazy brain, maybe. Let's go for it,
Let's do it.
Managed to go
before we opened that one, this building was empty then. We joked about it, like, amazing to get there. And then 6 years later, we something like that,
So 6 years later, from you posting that and kind of you guys saying that.
Yeah, well, I reposted it again, didn't I? 6 months ago, saying in 2015 I posted, and the picture is pretty identical.
Unbelievable. That's so cool.
Yeah, very weird. But yeah, it was just the element of that social training, doing something different, that strength and conditioning, being able to try gymnastics, weightlifting, the metabolic conditioning side of things, and mash it all together in that different style of training.
So, has that evolved from there? Is there a bit more to it now, or what's the reason for kind of getting this new, bigger place? Does it come from that dream?
Well,
that definitely did. And then I I remember I'd trained there for ages, and then I'd lived down in like Portsmouth for a bit, training a box down there, lived in Manchester, been a train for a couple of years, and then moved back, and then James was around, and I remember we all sat around your house one day, and we're just like, if we're gonna do it, let's do it properly. Are we gonna do it? And we were all like, yeah. And then that was it, all in, like, looking for buildings.
Before that, I think we were a bit of a crossroads, were we? And the gym had just been ticking over, just been paying for itself. It was a hobby, it was a labour of love for us. Obviously, the world had started to change with the pandemic and stuff, and we both got families, so it was like we're putting a lot of time into this, and we're getting our training out of it, we're training with people, but it's not going anywhere. And I think we were close on the cusp of just like, we can't carry on doing this.
Yeah.
So it was going to be, we're going to go for it, like, or
you're
we're
all
probably
in.
going to fold, And we went, luckily, we went all in and took the risk. Big risk, big leap of faith. Like.
But like you say, I feel like you've got to have the balls and you've got to have that courage to take the risk to make something like this
It's the
happen.
risk, but the reward as well.
It's
the other side of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I walked in and I was literally like, whoa. Like I've seen on photos, you know, pictures of it, but it's not until you walk in. It's literally like, you know, it's a class gym. You walk in, you got a cafe. You walk through the cafe, you're into the gym. The gym's like, it's a good, clean, neat space, and it's just awesome to see what you've, you know, pulled together after, like you said, 5-6 years ago. Like I remember watching, you know, videos of you guys, and it literally looked like, you know, a garage. You know what I mean? It was tiny.
I think I said a few people, it's took us 5 or 6 years to be an overnight success. It's like, it doesn't just happen, it takes a lot of groundwork, foundational work, but
I think the appetite for CrossFit from when we opened that one to when we opened this had changed well. There's a lot more exposure in the UK. And like we talked about before, there's a lot of kind of a lot of competitions about the moment, different various levels of competition, so everyone can get involved. It's not just the elite that you kind of see on Instagram all the time. So yeah, there's massive appetite for it.
I think Netflix.
Netflix.
Weird as it sounds, because everyone sees the CrossFit champs, fittest fittest on earth, and like, I want to know
Yeah. I think you're right there. It's just more accessible to a lot of people, isn't it? They're like, oh yeah. What was I going to say on that note? So what made you take the risk? Like, what was it? What made you take that leap of faith? Because you've got to be like,
we're all a bit brain dead, I think.
Mike made us a good breakfast.
was a good breakfast. I don't know, it just felt right at the time. No, it sounds
a gap in the market.
It sounds a bit cliche, doesn't it? I know, but it just did feel right. The right people were in the right room at the right time.
yeah.
We all had a passion for it.
I think, I don't know, we were probably a little bit naive as well, and I think you need to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not, and you
You
think
know,
about it
right,
too much, you'll never do something. So we were all just like going home, like, yeah, let's do it. Like the stars in the line with it was all.
I think from our point of view, going from two owners to 4, we're like, oh, this is 20
After
people
work.
here.
10 times.
That didn't work out, did it? But-
Because I feel like another key thing that we've not mentioned is, like, as well as here, you guys have other jobs as well. So what is it you do outside of here?
So we work in the shipyard as engineers in the submarine business, BAE systems.
Is it all three?
Oh, yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all work in the same, 4 of us, all off jobs.
I mean, like, how is balancing that?
Tough. It's not
It's hard if you've got like
Families,
kids and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, Mrs. doesn't like us very much.
I think it's probably easier for you, I don't know, like, it's easier for you guys now coming in, like, if you can't be on like family comes in. Just the family side of it, you can sit in a cafe and it's all about family friendly,
Yeah, and because we've got other kind of PTs, other coaches that work alongside us as well, it's not just kind of you're in all day. We can work it how it suits the different coaches best with that. So.
We've got a good squad though, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, definitely,
We work well together, it's a good team, pretty flexible how we everyone else out, but it's just managing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? I feel like these days, a gym's got to be more than just a gym.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's got to be like either a gym and like a social space like this where, you know, it's providing two things, or it's got to be like a gym and like a leisure centre where there's a bit more like, you know, a bit more to it. I feel like there's just got to be more than just like the gym
Yeah.
for it to kind of happen. Because people are so busy like you guys, it's like two birds, one stone, like, you know, people can have the children in here while either the rubber off or they're doing a little bit of training in there or whatever.
I think we've created that as well, that's social element.
I think that's probably one of the big things. That's what these help bring massively as well, like the community feel, just the social side of it, just the banter between all the members and like the private Facebook group, like the way that it's grown, it's been awesome.
There's no egos here.
That's a big thing as well. So on that note, how it, like, is it just happened that there's no egos here, or do you guys kind of reinforce that point somehow? It might be-
Not leave your ego at the door or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, think like everyone.
Just treat everyone as evenly as possible. It doesn't matter if you're some of our top, you know, athletes or abilities, or first time, they just try and teach or, you know.
Yeah, I think every member's willing to help other members as well, no matter what level they're at. It's
Yeah.
just kind of organic and neat.
I think like people like Josh Hill massively as well, will you think Josh is probably the top athlete here,
Yeah.
and he's more willing than most to spend time to like help someone with a bar ups or, and everyone just becomes dead approachable and everyone sort of follows like examples.
It's really good that, and it's like really special because to be, which I'm finding out now, because obviously we just got moved to that new space in Wigan, like to create a good culture and for everyone to be on the same page and wanting to help each other, there's a little bit more to it than it just kind of happening.
Yeah.
Like you've got to reinforce that through like your behaviours and how you're coaching, and like you say, if it's, you know, everyone's treated the same, or like I said with Josh, kind of helping, you know, the other members and stuff, like I feel like it's really important staying grounded.
I think if you instill those standards in people that people respect, you know, like the coaches and our top athletes, people follow those standards, I think then don't they, and follow what they do. Like just as simple things like putting all your weights away and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People see us
Just
doing
shows
it,
respect.
then like, oh, I'll do it as well.
Yeah.
they're doing it.
At the start, we were red on kid, like if anyone lets them out, you get punished, and the punishments were awful.
Getting brutal.
Yeah. So then no one like leaves to get out.
Was it now?
Yeah.
And it's perfect. Like, it's
Yeah.
perfect. Like I walked in, it's so clean. There's no plates on the floor. There's no chalk on the floor. Like walking, it's like
You should have sit
It's
outside.
actually-
You're all over the place.
I think one of the big things that probably helped, and it was like obviously I came on board when we opened this, and was part of the core member group from the old gym, and there was a bit of concern that like there was a new big gym opening and all the core members from the old spot would be forgotten when loads of big people came, and like these two did an awesome job of making everyone feel the same. And then the family just went from like 20 odd core members to like over 100 like overnight, and it was awesome. And then everyone was the same, and everyone felt part of like a small knit community, which felt like brought everyone together really.
Yeah, like a year ago, over 100 people who've gone here and never met each other, or like hardly knew each other. And now, after like where we on Saturday, everyone knows everyone. Everyone's families.
And I feel like say you've gone from like 20 members to like probably 130 members now, or whatever it is. But you've been open, you know, coming up to a year almost now. I feel like that growth in that short space of time, like that doesn't happen by accident. Like I say, I feel like the hard work you put in to set these standards, and like you walk in and the gym, you know, it does have that wow effect. I feel like, you know, you can see straight away that you've got a good atmosphere here. I've not met many members, but the few that I have met while I've been here have all said hello. Like, which you can easily go to another gym and they, you know, they kind of try not to make eye contact with you. They're like, I'm trying to, you know, just say alright, whatever, and it's a bit awkward, but
if it's someone new walks in, I think we all try and make, well, we
Yeah.
definitely all try and make an effort to be like them and maybe, you know, talk to them. Yeah, you know, I'm doing like,
Yeah.
for a session or whatever.
When we've done like in-house competitions or training mornings, we do like a team, either 3 or 4, but we kind of pick the teams just at random, so it's a matter of level, if you know them, whatever, so people getting to know each other more like that as well, so we've done a few of them. And at the start you're like, I want to go with a mate, but once you do it and you're in it, it's better and you get to know everyone, and we can help each other.
I think we had like a few were signing up for the first comp, and we did like send it sessions where it was like competition style programming, teams of 2s, 3s, 4s, and like I said, putting people with people we didn't know, straight away you get to know each other. And like the team workouts that have been on Saturday on the JST train stuff has been quality for that, because you just speak to people you wouldn't normally, and then everyone just gets to know each other.
yeah. On that note, so I feel like you guys do this very well, and it's funny as well. I don't know if Sandy Gibson was on the same Best of British Training Camp as you two or not. So he owns Johnny Sailor,
Right.
the won 6 this year, and won it last couple of times. But so you guys and him as well do very well in nurturing that competitive side of your gym, as well as, you know, just the person that wants to turn up and get healthy and fit. Like, how do you manage, like, how is managing that? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of gyms almost kind of hold the members back a little bit by not nurturing that side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you find that balance?
Is it weird? Like at the start, people wouldn't even thought about competing at all. Like this time last year, they didn't know what snatch was, clean jerk, anything like that. And then I think, like we mentioned before, some of the coaches, some of the members that have been into it longer are competing, and then they see that and like, oh, I want a bit of that. So, like I say, we put send it classes on, kind of
Prepared them a bit, mentally, didn't we? Physically.
like in-house ones, and then when we were going away, they were coming to watch us, and then next time we would watch them, and it's just
There was a floodgate effect after that, wasn't it?
yeah.
Because we did push a few people, didn't we? We saw talent in people,
Potential,
potential there, and we did push people a little bit to go into the scaled options of Glacier that we went to.
Yeah.
So in preparing, we did those 70 classes, team events, building them up,
Building the confidence as well,
the confidence
yeah.
for it. We got a big squad going, didn't we? There was about 30, 40
Yes,
so we'll compete and just go and watch.
Like a third of your gym as well.
Yeah. And then everyone loved it, didn't they? Absolutely loved it.
Just like, I think, like, I mean, when I joined the box and said you guys competed, you're like, yeah, I want a bit of that. Yeah. So seeing people do it, seeing people do qualifiers in the gym, and then like you said, giving them access to the send it stuff, just reinforces that competitive nature. I mean, you've got like Boxmate for logging scores, and then people look what each other's getting, and that builds that competitive nature. We'll write scores on the boards for people sometimes for like what you've got on the workouts. And I think it's just good.
We even had people that were terrified just to come to the gym.
Yeah.
Like the anxiety levels of coming to group training, the different type of training. We've got them to the classes, enjoyed the classes, and then the likes of Holly and Kat and them, who would never in a million years have thought of competing or going to competition, competed at the last indoor Glacier. Loved it, absolutely loved it, didn't they? So it's awesome to see people change just like that, you know, just in becoming more like less anxious about coming to classes.
I think that's where you get like you said, the group training becomes more social. You're not just doing it on your own. So like doing a competition on your own might be a bit scary, but if you can do it to your mates, like it's a little bit less scary, isn't it? So then it makes it more accessible.
Yes. And the thing is as well, that confidence that they've now gained in the gym, they'll probably have that outside the gym as well. And kind of leading on from that, probably a question to each of you a bit more individually. It's like, what do you get out of now owning the gym? Like, what is it that kind of makes this place feel special? And you know, do you? Because initially, let's probably be honest, most gyms 5, 6, 7 years ago probably opened a gym so they train.
Yeah, that's why we opened it, wasn't it? Yeah, so we train.
Whereas now, like I say, we've all been in this place, I feel like it feels like it's evolved and you kind of have this, where you're helping people,
Yeah.
you get a bit more of a kick out of that probably as well.
Well, yeah, that's definitely what
Yeah.
we get out of it more now. The amount of messages we get from people saying, thanks very much for helping us get to this level or helping us do this. We've got people that have never touched a barbell before, who've got massive untapped talent, haven't they, for weightlifting. A couple of people have got unbelievable lifting technique only from just doing it in like a 6-month window. You've got people messaging us saying, it's amazing what you've created and what you do for us and the time and everything you put in us, and that's definitely what me personally I get out of it now.
I think like especially in the CrossFit community it gets kind of bandied around quite a lot, but I think from our Christmas social event weekend it's definitely seen a massive community just built with that.
I was going to say, like, we stood up at the front giving out the awards, and like you look around, all the members are sat there and you're like, it's like pinch yourself, like, this is awesome, and then giving out one of the awards, Jenna gets up, starts crying, we all look at each other, we've all got a tear in our eyes. Like moments like that would really be worth it, really.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like I say, it's making people not just fitter and healthier, just making them better people all round.
But it's been a tough road, hasn't it? Like, we've had some scenarios building up to it, like what happened to you when we were
We were decorating in there, and I was up on the ladder, fell off the ladder, scattered my heel. Luckily I didn't break my back.
Flipping it.
we had we'd been given a cherry picker, a diesel cherry picker, to put all like the netting up and stuff like that, and we had all the doors closed because it was raining outside. We were for 8 hours pretty much. His diesel truck was going. I got all like carbon monoxide, like tunnel vision on the sofa like this.
We're painting the change rooms with like damp-proof paint that you use on the wind turbines.
Our eyes
that's how we come walking in straight lines from the fumes to the paint.
That's the best day of that.
It's been like
It's
some
been a
stories.
lot,
It's been a journey, but all worth it. To get to that point, I think at the weekend and do those awards and see the community there together and have a good drink with everyone. It's been a mental roller coaster of the year.
I think the other thing for me is like normally you go to the gym and you like go in like normal gyms, put your headphones on, don't speak to anyone, do your stuff and get out. Whereas pretty much everyone comes in here, they'll sit and have a brew before, have a crap with the mates, they'll go in, say hello to everybody, and they'll end up spending like 2 or 3 hours in here. And like, we all get in trouble with our missus for spending too much time down here. And it's like, but then they'll come down, and they're like, I see why you're doing it now, because you can't not speak to people and like, just sit and just like have a good time with you.
It's infectious, isn't it?
This is why I feel like having this part of the gym here as well is really important, because like I say, it offers that space for people to be able to have conversations, and obviously people can get it out a little bit more so that when you're coaching classes you can actually do your job as a coach as well. And it's like, right, we switch on a little bit more here and we can get done what you need to do as a coach as well.
I think you get to know the members better as well, because you get to know like not just about what they're doing in the gym, but like how the stuff outside their life, which you get to know the person. It's more important, I think, and you might not go as hard on them in a class because you know someone's outside, or like just I don't know, you connect with people better when you've had those conversations.
And again, that is super important, like just to know those little things, and it could be like you can just tell without the looking that on this day they're not feeling good, because this is probably happening in the background. It's super important. I feel like again a lot of coaches that I've come across in the past, they kind of put that to one side of like, my job is coaching, like you will do this, you will do exactly what I say, and they don't give them any flexibility, but because they don't give them that flexibility, it's not that empathy there, and again members are less likely to buy in and probably not stick around. So
we've said to everyone like it is a family, and everyone that joins is like part of the family. Basically. I think all the members then embrace that and they treat it that the same, so they all look after each other as well. So,
How do you see the gym evolving from where it is now, or what's like the next? Is there something else in the pipeline, or is there something else you'd like to bring in or do? I don't know. Is there any thoughts there? Are you pretty happy with what you've got now?
Mezzanine.
we're spoken about it, but yeah, we'd love to put mezzanine in. We've got the height for it.
Yeah.
It's like we said before, to progress the CrossFit kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To be able to offer that, because obviously so many of our members have kids and things, and being able to offer that side would be amazing. So many ideas, isn't there? See you later. Just putting them into actions.
I think the other thing, like we've got the Raiders, Para Raiders down here, and like quite a lot of teams have asked us to do team stuff.
Yeah.
So being able to help teams in the community is a big thing that we're.
There's the hockey team as well.
Yeah, we sponsored a hockey team, sponsored a netball team, sponsored a football team. Yeah, Raiders come down. So
again, you know, by showing that bit of, you know, like here's a helping hand.
Yeah.
Again, it's more likely gonna, you know, come back and give you a helping hand back, isn't it? Whether it's a couple of them joining or you know getting involved. It's funny you said about the mezzanine as well. So my wife Hannah follows a gym in Oldham, and it's in this old like mill, and literally it's like the main bits that was initially the gym, but now they've got an area where it's like a kids play area. So when they're doing the classes, like the kids can, someone's watching them, they can play, do whatever, not worry about it. They have like the big kind of DJ social nights in there. It's literally like everything under one roof.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a local gym just based in Oldham, he's got a ridiculous amount of followers. It's like over 50,000 followers, you know what I mean? Just from, you know, kind of having everything in inverted commas under one roof, as Peter Kay says. So
I mean, yeah. What is the next stage? It's something I think we need to sit down in the new year and discuss together, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, like the guys from Fell came down, and it'd be awesome to do something a bit more like wider than just a gym, like fittest in the lakes, or I know it's like District Health, Northern Warrior, all those guys that go up scores. Argo as well, and just try and tie something with all the gyms and like the gym community in the Northwest as well. And like in the lakes rather than just...
He dropped me a message actually, the guy from Argo. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but but like I say, that I do feel like it's getting to the point now where a lot of boxes through the UK are starting to develop this, you know, they've got a great kind of gym atmosphere. It's how can we then make that a bit bigger?
It's like what we were saying before about like regional competitions in the UK, something like that. And having a network of them would be awesome. And then it's that like feeder, isn't it, for people that want to see a route to like the games or whatever. If someone walks in the gym at 17 or younger and is like, how do I get to the games? You've got a network of
There's a roadmap there.
regional competitions, like training camps, then national level comps, and then like that's a clear plan for them,
definitely.
which they've got in football or whatever, but they haven't got
in CrossFit.
not in UK.
Because I feel like the barrier at the moment for like younger people that want to get into CrossFit is there's just not really the opportunities there. Whether it's like if we're thinking about teens, how many, like we said before, how many gyms are doing teen classes at the moment? And even if they did get into it at a slightly older age of maybe like 18 to 21, again, it's still, there's like nothing there as such that's like, right, this is how you should kind of follow this pathway and this is a good way to be able to, if you want to do it competitively, do it, do that.
I think that's something that like we've said, because like obviously you went on the Battleground training day and we've all followed like various programs. But we sort of learned ourselves. I've been around a few different gyms, but you sort of learn yourself. And we've said some of the lads and the lasses that have come in here in 6 months, like you said, how much progress they made. Like like Jack and like Sloaney and like all them lot come in, they've learned muscle ups after 2 months,
Yeah.
do handstand walks, and I'm like, I wasn't doing that. Like
Yeah.
anyway,
It's
like
a lot
you
quicker than
yeah. And it's like, and it's scary when you see like some of the younger lads how quick they've progressed just from having access to a gym like this and like coaching, and it's like what could people achieve
Yeah.
from having access to that?
It's funny you say that. I class you guys as a new gym, and there's RDHFC that we have in South Wales that follow the class programme, and they opened like, it was 3-4 months before you guys, so all the members again have gone through the same process of being like, this is the programme we followed from the start, and they've seen the same, you know, like progress where it's been like loads of the members have got like bar muscle ups and stuff, and it's just been like I say, because they've learned good habits from the start.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of made quite a big difference really. Whereas it's quite hard to change the mindset of someone that's already like stuck,
Yeah,
you know,
just
in the
stuck
wrong
in
ways.
Like
Well, they're looking at, we've been through 5 years of doing it wrong, really.
Yeah.
So they're learning from our mistakes.
Yeah.
That's.
But those mistakes have got to be made, don't they, to learn the lessons to then.
No wonder my back's absolutely. But yeah, it's parabolic in there, like where people come from and to where they're at now.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like, I mean, there's some lads that play football to a decent standard, semi-pro and whatever, and they're all like do we just jack football?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, some of
If
them
they did all,
would be
Oh,
scary.
Yeah.
Some of the times they put up on some of the workouts.
Yeah, I'm going, like, constantly going.
It's similar, like, so down at Blitz, Jamie, Boston, we write programming together. He gets like loads of rowers in there that are just like unbelievable engines. They took 5 minutes to actually learn gymnastics and they like sit. Where me and Steve have been joking like, oh, if any of these rugby league lads drop out in Wigan, like let's get going. And it's again same in South Wales, like loads of lads play rugby union, but a lot of them don't make it. And at the British Teen Championships that was in September, there's quite a few, you know, girls and lads that have played rugby union but went to there as well, and you can see that, you know, if they were learning how to kind of move better, you can see they've got the engine to, you know, to do it. But yeah, you just gotta make sure you've got your core team like you guys that, you know how to coach, but also create a culture like, you know, made to do. So yeah, cool. I feel like let's wrap it up there. I hope this is actually recorded.
you had one job.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm halfway through.
No, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Cheers.